Studio check.
Frequencies check.
We are live on air.
You are listening to the In Fact Blessing the Airwaves. Take the journey into the world of sports, news, entertainment, while embracing the hottest beats on the planet. Rocking the mind, body, and with energy, electricity, and a splash of controversy. Now, without further ado, it's our pleasure to bring to you
The biggest show in the world.
The biggest show in the world.
the biggest show in the world, the SBTV Nation.
Well. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you. Happy Thursday. Happy kickoff to the weekend. Happy kickoff to the NFL. You are listening to the It Factor, the biggest show in the world, 194 countries strong. We are the SBTV Nation, and I'm having a conversation with my boy, The Dream. What's up, kid?
Incredible intro. The energy level is at an optimum high. This is what happens when you get 2 days off.
Yes.
I'm in the house. It's Thursday. We are the weekend warriors.
Absolutely. Dream. A lot of things going on in the world today. First off, we had the MLB playoffs, which a lot of people have been tuned into, and congratulations to the city of Cleveland and the Cleveland Indians as they are in the World Series, sweeping the Toronto Blue Jays.
Kind of had enough of Cleve.
Well,
Kind of had enough of Cleve, player. Just got to let you know. And not having enough of Cleve.
having enough of Cleve.
And I keep reminding the people of Cleveland, the Browns still suck.
The Browns still stink, exactly. Well, I did post a picture on Twitter and on our Instagram about, it was like two hot girls, and it said Indians, Cavaliers, and then there was like one just sitting there with like, she was like half the size of them, and it said Browns. It was funny, man. But anyway, Dream.
Yes.
It's Francona's doing a hell of a job over there.
No, yes. You know what? Even though I said I had enough of Cleve, I take that back because you know what? That city, you know what? They could use this that's going on right there. It's a nice little shot of life and energy into them. You know, get a little bit of change of pace as far as the sports are concerned. I want to say that there's some, I know for a fact, I don't live there, so I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, I from what I hear, and I think the eye test and reports from my memory is, you know, not necessarily the greatest, you know, city or town economically. And, you know, there's also a tad bit, maybe a smidgen of some racial tension out there as well. So hopefully this is a good additive and a shot in the arm. I mean, you know what? Look across the country. What I just talked about seems to be every state in the country anyway. So it's not just Cleveland, but still, seems like there hasn't been a lot of winning and a lot of positivity coming out of Cleveland in a long, long time. So, hey, I'm all for positivity and whatever's going on. If it's helping that environment and helping that culture, then it's a great thing.
It's a great thing, absolutely. So, you know, I really feel like here's good news, bad news.
All right, yeah, play it, get it out.
Good news, bad news for Cleveland Indians. The good news for them is that, you know, they did have to pitch their entire bullpen the other night in the game. And, you know, the problem is that, you know, if they were going to jump right into the World Series, that was going to kind of bang them up. But the good news for them is that the Dodgers and Cubs are tied 2-2. So you're going to have to get at least two more games. And if they split those, you got to have another game. So that gives them plenty of time off. The bad news in that particular situation, in my opinion, is that when you're hot, the last thing you want to do is have a break, Dream.
No doubt.
You know, so I mean, we've seen it time and time again how that works. So, you know what? But the Cleveland Indians, hey, with all the injuries they have, they're doing pretty damn good. And hats off to Andrew Miller, who has been lights out pitching wise. He has been absolutely insane, brother. Real good. And you know what? The Yankees, if you think about the two key pieces that they traded away, being Andrew Miller and Aroldis Chapman, those two pitchers can possibly face each other in the World Series. How ironic is that?
Very ironic when you think about it. I mean, not that the Yankees was doing anything with them,
Yeah,
but it is very ironic, and sometimes that's how the way sports goes down. You know, you trade somebody. It's almost like fantasy when you have that player that's sitting on your bench. You're like, you shouldn't trade him, and the minute you do trade him, he goes ham on somebody else's team. Yankees can't really be mad because they needed a lot more. And a lot of these teams have pieces that will fit a lot of other puzzles, as far as other teams are concerned anyway. So you can't be mad about it, but it is very ironic that they were definitely contributors to this year's postseason.
Yeah, exactly. And, the problem with the Stanks was that they never really had a lead, so you didn't really showcase these guys as much as they're being showcased now in the postseason. So, looking at it here, the Cubs laid a smackdown on the Dodgers. The Dodgers actually had a 2-1 lead going into last night's game. So now it's tied, and you're probably not going to see Kershaw until Wrigley Field, Dream, in Game 6.
That's where they want him. No, that's right.
Of course, that's where they want him.
That's why you pitch him at 2.
Right, exactly. So, hey, it's all good. Nice photo, Dream. Real good, man. Good morning to everybody. We are live on Twitter, and the Twitter heckling continues. As myself, the Evil Genius, and the Dream have had an absolute hilarious time heckling each other back and forth.
I absolutely love I'm the king of that, so I absolutely love Twitter fights and Twitter heckling. That's
you know that I did have the upper hand on Sunday. I completely wrecked you.
Oh, you did wreck me.
I murdered you.
With the crying Jordan was dope. I gotta give you some credit. That was dope.
And the one with the Pittsburgh Steeler puking on the field, I think, was pretty good too. So, and you know what? Dream gets knocked down, and it's crickets for a little while. But hey,
no, wait, stop, time out.
Crickets.
It's never crickets for me. It was halftime. I'm running to get. You call crickets just because I stopped for like 5 minutes because I'm nonstop with my replies.
I know. And then you're telling Dizzle how the New York Giants stink so bad, and sure enough, they come back and win. And you actually said they're a better team without Odell Beckham. He comes out, has 222 yards or something like that. So Dizzle had his fun time with you as well. All good fun and just a hilarious.
I think they still are better without Odell Beckham Jr. Dude, I just can't stop. Listen, I'm sorry. There's certain things I just don't tolerate. That crap out of him on the sideline. Because, listen, I played at one time, and I played with some individuals, not on a professional level, so fall back, because I know people just almost crashed their car when I said that. But I'm just saying, I played with some erratic individuals like that. It's such a headache, dude. Yeah. That is you talk about snatching a cat up in the locker room. Listen, I know it doesn't really go down in the pros quite like that because the pros is, them dudes, like, there's a couple of thugs, there's a couple of real thugs on the teams, like the dude in Denver. What's my man's name? Talib.
Yeah, right.
and Pac-Man Jones. But outside of that, most of them cats, like, really, they really don't want to get into it like that. But snatching Odell Beckham up back in the day like Lawrence Taylor, like, you need a cat like Lawrence Taylor, Charles Oakley. You need those guys on your team every now and then that will keep personalities in check on the low.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To snatch your cat up and say, yo, dude, knock it off.
Knock it off. Chill out. Well, look at Perfect for the Cincinnati Bengals. Fined again $75,000, Dream, for his antics in the Patriots game.
I kind of like Perfect's antics because he punked Gronk down.
He did punk Gronk down big time. And you know what? That's like $280,000 he's been fined so far. That's a lot of money, man.
But on the flip side with Perfect, that's stupid, though. And Stephen A. Smith was very vocal about these guys making this kind of money, but hampering themselves with fines or with the stuff that they do off the field and getting in trouble, which is, stopping it. Because your window for collecting loot and getting paid is only so big.
Right.
You need to get as much money as possible. I don't care who you are as far as a professional athlete, because it's all over one day, and that unlimited income and the ability to make that kind of income generated is tough. I mean, unless you're Hollywood Henderson, who hit the lotto multiple times, dude. How do you hit the lotto? I want to just hit once.
Just once.
I don't even want to hit. Listen, I don't even play the lotto because I know God's not really going to try to look out for me like that. I just want to hit like the foreplay, like a quick, like 50 G's or matter of fact, 5 G's.
5 Gs.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I can't even hit the foreplay. Meanwhile, Hollywood Henderson plays professional football and hits the lotto multiple times.
I don't know. You can't win if you don't play, though.
Some people have all the luck, and in others, it just seems like there's just no luck at all.
Right on. So, Dream, I got to watch the third and final presidential debate last night.
Oh God, son, why are you doing it?
I've been watching it.
What that?
And I got to be honest with you. I got to be 100% honest with you with this. Now, my feelings are my feelings. Everybody has their own opinions and whatnot, okay? Now, there has been a lot of, obviously, antics going on in this presidential election period here. And I really do feel, I mean, as much as everybody, a lot of people don't like Trump and, they think he's crazy and he doesn't shut up and all that. Yeah, I get it. But I do honestly think that there is a lot of the media. I think he's at a disadvantage with the media. I really do. And I think that it's almost where it's come to a point now where they're almost trying to sway you the other way. And a lot of it is brought upon himself. I understand that. But, when you hear the man talk, I mean, realistically, without saying stupid things, like if you could just kind of put that out of your brain for a second, like.
That's what's so hard.
I know. Hillary's a nasty woman. That's what he said last night. And he said that we got a lot of bad hombres in the country and stuff like that. But if you could take.
He is probably a I mean, like, honestly, listen, I love women. Don't get this wrong. Y'all all got a nasty streak in you. I don't care how fine you are. I don't care how dope you are. I don't care how big your butt is.
Yep.
There's a nasty streak in most women. I almost want to go all women. I'll go most women because I don't care. There is, and every guy knows this, there is that point that there's certain things that a woman would do that a man will never do. Go ahead.
All right. But anyway, so I really just feel like he's already lost because of everything that's going on. Yes. Between the tape coming out where he says, grab the women and, you got all these women that are coming forward and saying now that he groped them and all this other crap. And, who knows if that's true or not. I mean, I haven't seen any charges filed or anything. And I'm not advocating Trump at all. That's not what I'm doing.
Son, what's up?
No. I'm just saying that I really feel that the media is portraying this whole different thing. And even like a news network like CNN is completely Democrat. 100%. I mean, they are just shoving Hillary down your throat. And even some of this thing, like they'll take clips out of like Howard Stern's show from like 15 years ago and play like one little sentence to try to make you, have a bad feeling about Trump and stuff like that. I think it's kind of crazy, and I think it's a little unfair, to be honest with you. But, hey, it is what it is, and I got to be honest with you. I'm really trying to give Hillary a chance, Dream, and it's just not working. I'm not feeling her at all. I'm not feeling her. I'm not feeling any of her policies. I'm not feeling anything. I really feel like nothing's going to get better if she gets elected.
It's going to get better either way. It doesn't matter. Listen, first of all, like The Rock says, it doesn't matter. It's going to get better, period. The thing is that you don't want things to get drastically, keyword is drastically worse. My opinion is it's not really going to get that much better whoever goes in and whatever side goes in. Because, I mean, honestly, I hate saying this, but I'm keeping it real. These people are very far removed from the average Joe Schmo American citizen. I mean, and most politicians are like what do I have in common with the Clintons other than we breathe the same air?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And not only that, with the Trumps, these people, they're the upper echelons of our society. And yeah, they come down every now and then and rub shoulders with the common man. But in general, I don't care what they try to tell you about my dad was a regular, farmer or whatever. Stop it. Like them people don't really in their heart of hearts care about us. Now there's one or two situations that they may have gotten involved in and they care about, but in general, it's about being in power, being a part of the hierarchy,
right,
being able to make control, their legacy, what they're passing on to their children. I mean, it's all about them. Like, It is what most people. Most people really just technically care about themselves, and then you'll throw a splash of the rest of the human race in, but that's after you do for you. So,
Exactly.
I mean, no really difference in them as far as I'm concerned either. The thing is I don't love Hillary either.
No.
But you just can't have Trump as the president. It just can't be the president because it's just so ridiculous. And I hear you on the media, but when you decide to run for president, Hat, you open yourself up to obviously a whole lot of scrutiny. And the scrutiny, like I said, Hillary and Bill have been in office and been messing around with the politics forever. Yeah. So most of their scrutiny and all of their stuff has gotten out in the wash already. Whereas Trump just gets on the scene today, or this election, and a lot of his past stuff we don't know that much about because it's been undercover. But he's been a clown up till now, just because of who he is and what he's been doing. Right. Running around with the whole, the Apprentice deal and being in and out of the press for those type of reasons. So now the media, they're going, they're picking up stuff because he's running for president. Yeah. So there's probably a plethora of more stuff on Trump. A lot of stuff that we haven't heard about and known about, where we already knew about Hillary stuff because they've been in office forever.
I got it. I understand that. But hey, there's still 19 days left, so we'll see what ends up going down. But Dream, I'm glad you put that bet in on Hillary Clinton to win the election because it's looking pretty good right now.
Jump in the race all quickly.
What's that?
Why don't you jump in the game?
The juice is too high at this point. I think it's like minus 800 for Hillary to win.
You run for office. Right?
Yeah. Right. Like I got time for that. Get out of here.
SPTV's gonna say the country. Don't let me be vice president. It'll be a wrap.
All right. So I think we have the beautiful Pamela Michelle on the line today. Are you there?
Hello.
How are you?
Thanks.
Good.
We're not talking nothing about sports. It's great that you came on right now.
Oh, I heard a little bit of it, and this is exactly why I'm voting for Gary Johnson.
Nice. There you go. So, Pam, what's up? We got this NFL thing has been a little nuts. And I'm going to let the Dream lead you with some questions. I know he's got some stuff up his sleeve to talk to you about. So, Dream, you have the floor with Ms. Pamela Michelle.
Listen, first of all, just, you know what? Football's been ugly. Let's just put football in the back seat right now. Let's just talk with Pam about what's really good. Halloween is on the rise. We got Halloween in two weeks. We got Halloween parties about to go down, and one of my favorite events is to go to a Halloween party because all the young ladies getting these fabulous outfits.
Yes. It's like License to Dress Slutty.
Oh, Pam. And that's my favorite.
It gives girls a license to do that without feeling guilty. Because then they can just say, well, it's my costume.
And if I was running for president, I would have License to Dress Slutty Day once a month.
Card-carrying member.
Very good point, Dream.
So, Pam, talk to me a minute. Now we know that the ladies definitely dominate Halloween. Like, they dominate everything.
Yeah.
But Halloween, they really go ham. Talk to me because obviously this show, we cater we generally have a male audience. Talk to me about what do you think, like, what do you find sexy for like a male, like how can the men get their sexy on?
I think it's kind of difficult for guys just because there's so many more choices for women. But for me, like, I sort of like keeping it a little bit classic, like that whole gangster Bonnie and Clyde type of thing. Like that's the deal. I think that there's nothing sexier than a guy dressing up in a 40s kind of throwback type of suit. I think that that's really hot. I think that it's difficult for a guy to expose flesh like a girl can and look sexy. I think it just looks kind of ridiculous at some point, unless it's, I guess maybe a Julius Caesar type costume, something like that. I guess that's kind of cool, but I definitely favor the whole gangster kind of vibe going on.
So take notes, fellas. Get the gangster out. Get the pinstripe going on with the little pocket watch, little slick hat, and a Tommy gun. Prop. Get that all happening. I like that idea, Pam. What's your thoughts on Because you know what, I did one year, and Hat knows, we did it with him. I did the fireman kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. See, there you go. I mean, like I said, it's just my preference. I think that there's something sexy about a guy in, a whole type of gangster suit. The fireman is, I guess, a little bit of a fantasy for some ladies, but I think the more important thing is what people forget is you have to feel comfortable. Like, you have to feel comfortable in what you're wearing, because if not, you're going to be very self-conscious, and that just comes off as well.
No doubt, because if I put on the gangster outfit, I'm gonna feel like a straight up pimp, though, Pam. So I'm
right, exactly, and that confidence exudes, and that's what's sexy.
Dream, I got a perfect costume for you.
Go.
Why don't you be the first NFL black place kicker? How about that?
Stop it. There's plenty
How about? I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and he was like, "You know what? There's no black place kickers." Do you remember one, Dream?
Reggie Roby, but I think he was
He was a punter.
He was a place kicker.
How come? Why is that?
Because you know white people get nervous when brothers start kicking stuff.
I was going to say it, and I just didn't want to. I'm like, really? Do you have to think about that question?
I want brothers to start kicking stuff. Everybody be up there.
Dream, I want you to be a place kicker for Halloween. Come on.
Let's get back. Let's take back to sports for a little teeny bit. The season's been off the hook. I mean, I don't know if I think you've been paying attention, but season's been off the hook. Fantasy-wise, how you doing as far as that's concerned?
I'm actually doing fairly well I'm in 7 leagues. There's one league I'm not doing so well in, but that was because, in fairness to me, I did not draft the team. I auto-drafted it, so I had to kind of do some repair on waiver wire. So I'm not doing that well, but I've never used that as an excuse. But I'm doing well. I'm actually doing very well. There's a particular league that I'm in from Vegas, SportsX Radio, and I'm not sure if I told you guys about this league, but there's one interesting stipulation. There's no waiver wire, and that has made it very interesting. I've never been in a league that the team you draft is the team you ride with all year long, and there's no waiver wire. Week 5, I had a matchup against the host of the show, and I never pay attention when I draft as far as bye weeks. I've never, ever done that. I've never not taken a player because another wide receiver I had drafted prior was on the same bye week. I would rather have my whole roster be on the same bye week than say, nope, I can't draft this guy because this wide receiver has the same bye week. Never paid attention to any of that. So I had drafted Drew Brees and Russell Wilson, who had the same bye week in week 5. So week 5, I was going in, and I had no quarterback. I had no tight end because Fleener was also my tight end. So I really felt that I was going to get completely screwed over. I ended up winning that match by about 40 points because Julio Jones went off. I had A.J. Green, and I really stacked up my running backs with Ezekiel Elliott and David Johnson, who have been outstanding for me this year.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, time out. What league you in that you got Julio Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, A.J. Green, and David Johnson?
Damn.
I drafted well. They drafted terrible.
Just like you, but the winner, it must be if you win, you get to date the guys in your fantasy.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, no, the stipulation is that the losers have to take the winner out for a night in Vegas.
See,
and did I mention that it's total points? We're not playing win-lose record, total points, and I'm in the lead by about 73 points.
To get you out tonight, I'll let you win all day, Pam.
They laughed at me though. I had a choice between Todd Gurley and David Johnson, and I chose David Johnson over Gurley. And they were just like, "Seriously, you want to do that? Have you been paying attention to the preseason?" I'm like, "Never you mind about what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
When I'm winning, that's all you need to know."
Wow, unbelievable! Awesome. Other than that, how's the dating game going?
It's going well. I mean, SportsX Michelle is on location live every Thursday at Steiner's, so I'm manning the show somewhat by myself. I have a co-host with me this week that's going to talk about what it's like when you have to let the person you are uninterested in dating you down.
Uh-oh.
That's our topic this week.
Oh, okay. That's it. That's an interesting topic.
Very much.
I think so. I think that there's different ways to handle something like that. And it's like an occurrence that we've all been a part of. You know, when somebody's interested in dating you, you may not be interested in dating them. It might be just from a friendship type of standpoint. But how do you find that balance where you don't make things awkward, you still remain friends, but let them know that it's just not going to work as far as a couple?
And what you're really saying is, how do you keep money from driving around your neighborhood late at night? Crying in the car because you had to tell them you're not feeling them.
Exactly. Do you want to go out? I'll be at your house. Oh, wait a minute. I'm here. You're where? You're what?
An easy way to let the guy that's been stalking you forever know that you're not.
Good point.
Wait for my invite on the show so I can give you the black male perspective on the dating game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely will have to come on.
Go on there, Dream.
You know, I'm contemplating it. We will have the discussion, as Hat likes to say. Oh man! But other than that, what's your thoughts of this NFL season? I don't know from a win-loss standpoint. I mean, obviously your Patriots are doing well. Give me a feel on what's happening it now.
Well, right now, everybody in Patriot Nation is very happy. Tom Brady is back. You know, they've always had the luxury right now of having quarterbacks that have done well in the system, even if they weren't Brady, because of the way the system has been designed to make backups look well and then let them go get paid somewhere else, only to realize that they were basically the emperor has no clothes. So that's what the Patriots have done well. And they have a good problem with Garoppolo and Brissett right now. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think it's going to be interesting now to see exactly how much Tom Brady rips the rest of this league to shreds. I don't see a whole lot of competition for the Patriots in the AFC right now. It's unfortunate because the competition that I first saw was the Pittsburgh Steelers. We all know how the Steelers perform when Ben Roethlisberger is not in the mix. I mean, it really hurts, and now it looks like he may be out a couple more weeks than they thought he was going to be, which is unfortunate because anytime you have a good competition kind of going on, that's what people want to see. People in the NFL really don't want to see these crappy NFL games where you know it's just going to be one-sided, which makes it a little bit more interesting now in the AFC East that Buffalo is doing well on the upswing.
I kind of agree, but then I disagree. But that's a whole nother point. I want to just bring it back for a second and talk about the Patriots, because every time I get a Patriot fan that gets on here and talks and they start feeling themselves with the Patriots, I do have to remind them that as good as the Patriots play and are good as the start they're off to this season, there was a season when they went undefeated and had the worst loss in probably sports history, and remind them that the New York Giants did beat them in that Super Bowl. And
my Giants did beat them in that Super Bowl. It was one of the happiest days of my life.
Bill and Brady really still probably have nightmares to this day about that going down. And you never can get too excited about the Patriots having a good regular season, because we've seen them.
No, you can't.
Right, we've seen them have good regular seasons over the years. It still seems to break down at the end of the season no matter what. So we will watch them. They look great. They look dominant like they always do. To me, I don't think that the Steelers are necessarily the challenge for them, because I don't think an offensive team ever scares the Patriots.
No, they don't.
The Patriots' Achilles heel comes with defensive teams. And I look a little bit in the direction of the Denver Broncos again. And I look slightly look at the Buffalo Bills, but I think the Buffalo Bills are not an issue. But I slightly will take a glance over at the Bills.
I don't think they're an issue. I just think that the upswing as far as their play has been so dramatic from the way it started at the beginning of the season. I think it's enough to make things interesting. And you're right. The Broncos definitely are somebody you want to look at. Almost their entire defensive core stayed intact. They really didn't have a whole lot of shuffle in the offseason as far as that defense went. And they won the Super Bowl with a one-armed Peyton Manning last year. So that says a whole lot about how the defense for the Broncos runs.
No doubt, definitely. And most of those guys are back. So, Pam, listen, we love you coming on the show. Give us all your content, the Dating Game Gang. Pam, tell everybody where they can find you at. If they want to listen in and get involved with the dating game situation. Let them know what's going on with that, please.
Absolutely. You can listen to that dating show, and I always tweet out the link, so make sure you follow me on Twitter at Sporty Diva for those things. And you never know, we're going to get the dream on one night, because I know that him and I will have some intense conversations about dating faux pas and do's and don'ts.
Always, definitely, always. Pam, it's always our pleasure to have you join us, and the listeners love you to death. Keep up the good work, honey, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.
All right, you too. Take care.
Bye.
All right, Dream. Time to get down to business.
Oh, dude, I love talking with Pam.
Absolutely.
Having her on. Definitely time to get down with business. Lucas Wilbanks, I see you out there saying the Steelers should trade for Ryan Fitzpatrick. I do agree that Landry Jones is garbage. I agree with that. As far as trading for Fitzy, I don't know. Not so much.
Well, you gotta pay him some money too on top of it.
A lot of money. And if Ben Roethlisberger is going to be out longer than we expected, he's got more than a torn meniscus, because I told you I've had 2 meniscus repairs on my dusty knee.
Yep.
So I know what's involved with that, and it's not that intense. So there's definitely more going on in a torn meniscus.
Well, they got 4 to 6 weeks he's going to be out, Dream. 4 to 6 weeks. So the good news is that they have the bye week after, but the bad news is they got to play the Patriots this weekend.
Well, the bad news is they got to start Landry Jones.
Yeah, that's another conversation.
That's another conversation.
It is. And you know what? They just lost to the Miami Dolphins, which is even worse. How does that happen, Dream? How do the Tennessee Titans go into Miami and beat them, but then Miami beats Pittsburgh? Like, what is that? That's
the dysfunctional posture of the NFL right now. The absolute dysfunctional posture in the NFL. And meanwhile, the NBA is sitting back because, the NBA is catching a lot of steam.
It is.
Based on what we're seeing with this football season. And it's working all in their advantage. And Adam Silver looks like a genius. Meanwhile, his counterpart in the NFL looks like a bumbling idiot.
Sure. Right on.
So, there's probably some lessons to be learned, but what the NBA's got going on, and not really being taken advantage of with the NFL.
Right on. Exactly. So, Dream, we got some games tonight.
Got a lot of games tonight.
We got, let's see, as far as collegiate football is concerned, we have 3, and we have 1 NFL game. So I'd like to know where you'd like to start first.
Well, we've got to start with the young boys. Got to start with the young guns. And I would go no further than Miami and Virginia Tech, yes, which looks to be a very, very interesting matchup if you can figure out who either one of these teams are.
Exactly. Very, very inconsistent ball clubs here. Absolutely. So when you look at Miami, I was very impressed with them in the beginning of the year. Now what's happened is they lost a couple games in a row here, Dream.
Well, Mark Rick's finally settled in.
What's that?
Mark Rick settled in to coach.
Yeah, seems that way. Exactly, because they lost to UNC,
yep,
and they lost to Florida State. Both tight games, mind you. But still, they shouldn't have lost to North Carolina.
Well, you think they shouldn't have lost to North Carolina, but that's another team that we can't figure out who they are. On the flip side of that, now, because that's a common opponent. The flip side of that, Virginia Tech murdered North Carolina.
Right.
34-3, murdered North Carolina, which makes tonight so interesting in the aspect of, man, just trying to figure out who these teams are is crazy. The one thing we do know is University of Miami gives up 131 yards on the ground, which is to me, a very telling stat, because Virginia Tech's going to look to want to get McMillan involved in that offense. 74 carries, 327 yards, 3 touchdowns. They're going to probably think that they can have some success running the ball. And if Miami allows them to have success running the ball, Slow Singing and Flower Bringing will be the prescription for the evening.
Yeah, it's just tough to bet against a home team.
Very tough, especially in college football.
And especially when they're, interdivision
Sure.
as well. So, the challenge I have with this game, like you said, is just the inconsistencies of the programs. I mean, you look at, like you said, they go and beat the snot out of North Carolina, and then they lose at Syracuse. It's like, it just doesn't even make sense.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
So, I mean, looking at it, Virginia Tech's defense has been pretty damn good, kid. They only give up 18 points a game, where Miami only gives up 14.
That's all I was going to say.
Yeah, so...
But if you look at the total yards that both give up, it's off the chain. 421 for Virginia Tech, 422 for Miami. So while they keep you from scoring, they do let you do a lot of stuff in between.
Those are the offensive numbers, Dream.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right.
Defensive
Absolutely
numbers are a little bit better. They're roughly, Virginia Tech has given up under 300 yards, and Miami just over 300.
313 and 291. My bad. I'm
that's
sorry.
All right. No worries. No worries at all. Now, I mean, these two teams, when they've played each other, this has been historically an under situation. 10 of the last 13 games when they played each other have gone under. And Virginia Tech, in their last 15 games that they've played, 10 of which have all gone under. So this team is doing it on defense. And it just seems ugly and nasty. I think this game is going to be a knockdown, drag-out affair. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 6-3, with 2 minutes left in the first half. You know what I'm saying? Like just something ugly and nasty, and then all of a sudden, maybe a couple of points are scored in the second half. But I would not be surprised if that was the case, if this became a field position game.
I don't know about that, because while over the years it's been under, when you look at what the two teams do score, though, Miami with 36 points, and then you look at Virginia Tech with 35 points, that may not be the telling stat. You look at what they've allowed, but then look at the competition. When you look at Miami, they haven't really played the likes of Virginia Tech. And so I think those are – I don't know about those numbers today. You know what I mean?
Well, they're putting up points against not-so-great defenses.
Right.
So when you got two defensive juggernauts here, this game, like I said, I may consider going with a first half under just because. What do we have for a total here on this game?
Hey, you want to get involved with totals again, I see.
51 points. Yeah, after the Jets couldn't put up any points.
After I tried to tell you.
No doubt.
Don't know how the Jets are going to score, but you want to get involved with totals.
I can see this being ugly in the first half, to be honest with you. And then they break away in the second. But, looking at it here, I just don't know if I have the testicular fortitude to play it, Dream.
Okay.
To be honest with you. I don't think that you have any opinion on the Troy versus South Alabama game.
I do not.
As South Alabama is an 8.5-point underdog versus Troy. We all know what Troy did. The only game I watched with Troy was when they came within 6 points of beating one of the best, quote-unquote, teams in college football, being the Clemson Tigers in Death Valley.
My opinion on the Troy-South Alabama game is don't turn it on while I'm watching one of the other ones.
Right on. And the next one, we have BYU at Boise State. On the blue turf, Boise State, the Broncos are 6-0, Dream. And they're only allowing 19 points a game. They're scoring 35. BYU is allowing 25 and scoring 28. BYU in the last 16 games, they're 11-5, dating back to last year. And Boise State is not covering spreads at home, boys and girls. In the last 5 games at home against the spread, they haven't covered any of them.
But they've been too high.
They've been too high. Well, there you go. And they're giving 7 tonight to a pretty good BYU team who's 4-3.
Right. And this Boise State team, by the way, is a quiet, very quiet 6-0. And nobody's really talking about them because this year in college football, there's just a lot to talk about. I mean, you talk about Louisville, Ohio State. Of course, Alabama's always right there. Then you throw in some Clemson, and then you throw in Harbaugh, Michigan. And guess what? There's no time or need to talk about the Boise State Broncos. But they have been getting it done, and they've been getting it done in impressive fashion. However, their lines have been mad heavy, especially in their last few opponents. Colorado State, they've had some heavy lines. Or when they played Oregon State, the line was really heavy. I don't necessarily know that those lines should have been quite like that, especially in some of their on-the-road situations.
Yep.
In the meantime, you got a BYU team, not too bad.
Right.
Went into double overtime against Mississippi State, came out victorious. Beat Michigan State, which I'm not really impressed with because Michigan State has been dusty. What surprises me here is Toledo, they beat Toledo by 2 points. And Toledo slightly reminds me of Boise State, but not as good of a version.
Yep.
And BYU beat them by 2 points, gave up 53 points of points as far as offense is concerned to Toledo. Very interesting. I think that BYU is going to have some success in the air this evening. I kind of like Boise State, but I don't like them -7.
Like a money line situation.
Like money line situation for Boise State, but I don't love it. Money line or teaser, don't absolutely love it, but I do like money line or teaser situation. And I would look towards where we're probably going to go next, the NFL, because I do like somebody in the NFL tonight. I don't think it's any big surprise.
You really think so, huh? After what they did versus the Dallas Cowboys, let's have that conversation right about now and talk about the NFL. Thursday night football is among us, guys, and we have to talk about the Green Bay Packers, who have not left the tundra. McCarthy has probably kept them outside since the Dallas game, practicing.
You can keep his own self outside.
Yeah, no doubt.
Plates.
Oh, brutal how they were last game. Chicago Bears are coming into town. What better way to get back on a winning track than to have the Chicago Bears come in? But remember, hey, you remember last year what happened in the Tundra. You remember that they lost this game.
Cuddles, though. With Cuddles, not Hoyer. Cuddles.
Okay.
Listen.
Even still, that was an embarrassment. They were a 7.5-point favorite last year in November, and they lost the game to the Bears. I'm not
going to do an intense breakdown here because this is what I'm looking at tonight.
Frustration play.
I'm looking at a frustration play, and all I'm telling you is just get rid of the hook. Get rid of that 0.5 point, and everything should be lovely. And that's only in extreme situations. Should they only win by 7? I see Green Bay going ham because they really need to get – this is like a momentum starting game. This is the game that when we see Green Bay in the playoffs this season, we're going to say this is the spot where they turn their whole season around and really got it going. I expect an electric energy tonight. I expect that offense to flow. I expect Aaron Rodgers to be back on point in his game. I expect mistakes not to be being made. I expect interceptions not to be being thrown. I expect play calling to be dead right. And I expect Green Bay to murder the Chicago Bears. Now, that being said, the one thing that we always got to keep in mind, At will tell you, it's an interdivisional rivalry. Teams know each other well. They beat each other well. Unfortunately, though, for the Bears, Green Bay really needs to get themselves going and have not looked good this whole season. So I think this is going to be the catalyst to really get them moving and get them going. I see a good game, and I see Green Bay winning and covering the spread, but you got to get rid of the hook. And if you can get it in a money line or get it in a teaser situation, it should work beautiful. So I absolutely love the Green Bay Packers and the Boise State Broncos.
Do you know that this is their 4th game in a row at home?
Good.
They beat and I could see this being similar to the Detroit game, where they went bananas in like the first 3 quarters, and then maybe there's some backdoor touchdowns at the end by the Bears or something like that. But I mean, they were killing Detroit.
I don't see backdoor because of the Detroit game, and they have to keep that in their mind. And they haven't looked solid for 4 quarters all season. So I would think that the recipe would be in the 4th quarter. Coaches should be saying, hey, we haven't looked solid. Let's finish this game out strong and give our fans something to cheer for.
Right, and the Bears are one of the worst offensively in the game, in the league. They're only scoring, what is this, 16.8 points a game? That's ugly. 1-5 season. This team needs to rebuild. Probably got to trade Cuddles, to be honest with you, and kind of just get back to doing something because this team 1-5. I could see them being 1-6 tonight, Dream, and I see the sense of urgency with the Green Bay Packers, especially the fact that the Minnesota Vikings are undefeated right now.
Who wants Cuddles' hat?
What's that?
Who wants Cuddles? Miami?
They were talking about the Jets.
The Cuddles is like the same. No,
I was hearing Jets talk. Fitzpatrick for Cuddles straight up.
That's like the same thing.
I agree, right? I mean, yeah, sometimes you just got to put them in a different program, you know?
I would say if I was anybody, I mean, who? The Texans, but they gave the Big Brock all that money.
Cleve.
Oh, God.
Get him over to Cleve. But then you got RG3 coming back, so you can't do that.
You know what? Miami might not be that bad of a fit. I want to see Cuddles in warm weather. I don't want to see him in a cold weather atmosphere. I mean, I know he's got a big arm, but I gotta be honest with you. Miami might be a good spot for Cutler.
Oh, that would be the last guy I want, to be honest with you, as a Dolphin fan.
Dude, the Dolphins have not had a quarterback with Cuddles' type of arm since Dan Marino.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
It'd be a nice change of pace to at least see.
Dolphins are going to shock the world, Dream. Just remember. Just keep that in the back of your brain.
Already did.
They did shock the world on Sunday, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, shock the world, one and done.
And they're gonna beat the Buffalo Bills this week.
Okay.
Watch, telling you. And you know what? I got another game. I'm just gonna put it out there. I have an upset that's gonna happen this week, and it's one of the teams that we were just talking about. And it is not the Miami Dolphin game. It's another one. But we'll have that conversation on Sunday with myself, the Dream, and the evil genius, Dr. Dan. That's what we're going to look at. I like these upsets, Dream. I like these upset calls. So it looks like there's going to be a great slate of football going on this Saturday and Sunday. And obviously tonight, you can get it going right with the Green Bay Packers because I think they're going to win the game as well, Dream. So that's a great money line spot to either leave it open or to combine it with some other things. But I'm probably going to start a marathon parlay and begin it with the Green Bay Packers.
I may too. I mean, I think you're safe with Boise State, but I mean, there's more comfortable options.
I don't like that game.
So you might leave it open. You might close it. I mean, you got to do what you want to do and what you like as well. That's just a little bit of advice from your boy.
Exactly.
I have not been that great this season so far, but I do expect at some point.
And while we're on the NFL, Dream, unless you got anything on that game that we were just talking about, Chicago, Green Bay.
Else, that would be it.
Just talking out loud here, because Big Ben is out of the game versus New England, the Patriots are on the road a 7.5-point favorite, Dream. That sounds about right.
Sure does.
Definitely. So,
the only other thing I would say about Green Biscuit, you're Ray Rice a call.
Yeah, because I mean, has Eddie Lacy gotten fatter? He's huge, Dream.
Face to the face, man, has always had a weight issue. He actually didn't do bad though against the Cowboys.
But he looks like he put on like at least 20 pounds. He's huge now. But he's quick. He's a quick big man.
He's a quick big man. I mean, Jerome Bettis was a big guy too. I mean, we've seen big bats flourish in the NFL before. I mean, Lace can work, but Lace is a little bit banged up. Stark's banged up. Give Ray Rice a call.
I hear you. Totally get it. So that's that as far as the NFL primetime affair tonight. You got it under over a 46. Don't like the total at all just because I know that the Chicago Bears can't score. But if they fall down big towards the third quarter, you never know. They might put up a couple of touchdowns and screw you if you want to take the under or not score at all if you want to take the over. It's just the way it goes, just like the New York Jets did to me the other night. Dream, one more thing I got on my notes here. My man Goldberg is back at WWE. Did you see that?
I saw that. What's going on?
49 years old. My man came back, had an amazing... Definitely he had they call it a pop where the crowd went nuts. I mean, it was definitely one of the biggest we've seen in years. And, he came back and he's going to be fighting Brock Lesnar. So I think that's a pretty cool match. I know that you don't really
Be
care, but
pretty
I'm sure.
cool. No, I was just reading up. So hold on. Back to Green Bay a minute. Guys, Eddie Lacy's going to be out for this game.
Really?
As well as Starks.
Oh. Well, that's
So-
not a good look.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind tonight if we're getting involved. You know, I still like Green Bay because here's what I say. All right, so guess what? Just 5 wide them up and just throw the ball all game. Be the Patriots.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Eddie Lacy and Starks are both listed as out, and yeah, out for Thursday night's game against the Bears. So yeah, they're not going to be playing. Eddie Lacy or Starks are not going to be playing. So I don't know who Green Bay is going to opt towards running back, but I still like Green Bay to roll.
Okay. No running backs.
But keep in mind, no running backs also means pass protection will be shaky too, because a lot of your sets depend on the running backs, chipping before they get out in the passing game, and also staying in the block for them. Like I said, you may look for them to just go 5 wide, no huddle all night and do that, which will, throw off defense a little bit. But it's going to definitely be some adjustments going to have to be made with these running backs being out, which may not necessarily be a bad thing for Green Bay.
Right on, brother. So that's pretty much it, Dream. I wish you the best of luck in that game tonight. Aaron Rodgers is going to have to do it with little Jordy Nelson and make it work.
I'm never afraid to put my faith in Aaron Rodgers, so I got full confidence in him, and I got full confidence in Green Bay getting back on board. Like I said, 5 wide them up and just go down the field, no huddle it. I think a lot of teams should opt to do that early anyway to get themselves going, because most of the time they look better in that type of situation than they do huddling up and taking it easy out there.
Yes, sir.
That being said, we are going to get ready to get out of here. Gang, I got some news for you. We have a special co-host coming in tomorrow, and I'm not telling you who it is just yet, but keep your eye out on Twitter. We'll be making an announcement a little bit later, and somebody's going to join Hat tomorrow for a co-host spot, because your boy can't be here. So keep tuned, because you're going to enjoy tomorrow. I think tomorrow's show's going to be really fun.
Yeah, because I plan on heckling him to death.
No doubt.
Right out the gate. Right out, because him and his team deserve it. That's all I got to say about that.
No.
So we'll keep it going.
Get out of here. I want to thank everybody that reached for the show. We got Vegas Jack in the house, sport for fan, Terrence Mack, Joseph Del Rosario, SD Grind, C. Rodriguez Jr., Jim Rome is a douche, Wayne Yarborough, JC, Vegas Bill 92661, Jason Riley, Barry Bouchard, Christos is out there, Snoopy Bets as well. Catch Action Bets hitting us up. Got my boy Irvin in the house. Scott White Weaver out there. Direct Sports Solution. Big ups to Mr. Charlie out there. Direct Sports Solution. Marlon, the credible Marley Mar. My girl Jackie's in the house as well. Sin City Maverick, Tiger Clinch, Jeff Ryan, Blake Moore, Terrence Mack, and Real Sports Winners. And also, can't forget OJFB. JH24, Jim Rome's a douche, Nicholas J, Big BT, Almighty Kevin Jones, and just to name a few of the faithful. Hey! No Eddie Lacy, no John Starks. So be careful with Green Bay. I mean, I don't care. That's me though. Some of you guys might care about that kind of situation. I think sometimes trying to implement certain people and getting certain things going hampers you, as opposed to just embracing who you are. And trying to get a run game going in Green Bay at times may hamper the greatness of Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. And we want to see that come to fruition. So they're putting it all on his shoulders, and I think those are good shoulders to put it all on. So I happen to like that situation for them. Listen, I'm the Dream. Always remember who you're with. Make the most of each and every day, as you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir, Dream. Guys, don't ever let anybody in the world tell you can't do something, because then you go and do it and make it work. And rub it in the face at the end. We love you to death. Go out there. Go easy, rise, and grind. Make all your dreams a reality. And get that money. Let's go.